Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to take the opportunity to thank those who already subscribed to this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you click subscribe there at the bottom so that you can be notified whenever I upload another episode of this series. Today we are looking at question 7 from the same question paper that we did during our previous episode. And if you look here, this is Microsoft Excel, and then what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go through the question paper which is displayed here on the screen, and then we are going to do all the questions according to the instructions. First instruction here says we must retrieve the spreadsheet. So I've opened the spreadsheet from the folder, and here it is. Now I'm going to save the spreadsheet. Instruction number 2 says save the document as question 7. So obviously you will just go and click file, and then when you choose save as, you will have to specify the location where you are saving, then you give it a name. So this is going to be question 7. So question 7 will be saved, and then when we look at question 3 in the question paper, it says as a header, key in examination number left aligned and question 7 right aligned. So we are going to insert a header. When you go to insert, like I'm clicking now, most of you says you don't see the header. Probably it's because it's under a grouping called text. If you click here, you will see all the tools that you can insert. So I'm going to insert header. I click there. On the left hand side, I was supposed to insert my examination number, so you will put your own ID number here. On the right hand side, we are supposed to insert question 7. So I've inserted question 7. Then you click anywhere on your spreadsheet. So later on you'll just click view and click normal so that you work on a normal view. Then you see that when you are working, your headers are not visible. They will only come out when you print. In case if you want to change something in the header, you will still go to insert again and then go to text and click header to open the section of header and footer. Then when you are done, you go to view and you click normal. So in case if you do it like this and you find that the normal is not active, it's because you are still typing, your cursor is blinking. So make sure that you don't have a cursor that is blinking by clicking on your text or on your spreadsheet. Then this normal icon will start working. Then you click normal, then you are back to your original spreadsheet. Now let's look at our question paper again. Number 4. Make all the changes as indicated on the spreadsheet and according to the instructions below. Before we can do any calculations on the question paper on our spreadsheet, we have to make the spreadsheet look like the one that we are going to be shown in the question paper. So when we look at the question paper again, you see that there is a portion on the question paper which shows the spreadsheet the way it's supposed to look like. Now we are going to make sure that our spreadsheet that we are still working on changes to be like this, so that we can be able to make calculations on it. But firstly, we have to make it look like this by formatting, where we have to format, insert new rows where we have to insert new rows, and also make editing, shading, change the text to appear in a certain way, just like that. All the instructions are given on this question paper, as you see, using manuscript signs. Some of them are arrows indicating what must change where and so on. So now I'm going to open my spreadsheet again. There it is. Now on my spreadsheet, the first instruction that we got was for us to change this heading. Remember, there's a difference between a heading and a header. So this is a heading. The heading must change so that it can become a new font called Century Gothic 22 and bold. And then also under this heading, if you look at the question paper again as displayed here now, we have another heading that will come with open rows in between. The heading says presenting actual figures on shark catching. So I'm going to insert that heading also on my spreadsheet. So back to my spreadsheet. Here on my spreadsheet you can see that I only have one heading, shark statistics, but I don't have another heading, and I must also include open rows. So I'm going to right click where it says 2 here and insert, click insert, a new row will come, and then click again for the last time on 3, insert, and the new row will come. So it means this is my open row, then I will type on 3 and this will be my open row again according to the question paper, if you have noticed. So now on row number 3 I'm going to type presenting actual figures on shark catching. So as I'm typing that now, it will appear under row 3. Presenting actual figures on shark catching. Now, as we look at this, the question paper says we are going to merge and center the first heading and the second heading. So the first heading must be merged and centered, and the second heading must be merged and centered. So you cannot do them at the same time like this, because once you try to do that, when you go to home and try to merge and center, you get an error. This is because you are trying to merge and center 2 rows at the same time, while merge and center focuses on a row at a time. So what will happen is that we need to ask ourselves, where do we merge and center? Let's look at the question paper. You are going to merge and center until the whole spreadsheet is covered. But when we look at our work here, we see that our last column is tons. We have activity year and tons, but we still have to add another column that says price per ton and total amount. So here we are going to add price per ton, and then here we are going to add total amount. So I'm just going to type here and say price per ton. I'm going to type again and say total amount. If you look at our spreadsheet, now it's having 5 columns, including the one at the bottom here must also be the same. So quickly I'm just going to highlight the 2, copy, and then highlight where they must come, paste, so that at the end we are going to do the same thing. If you look at the question paper as displayed now, we also have 2 columns added, both sections of the spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to look at the question paper where it says what we should do on the 2 headings like we started earlier. The question paper says merge and center. Then we have to change the first heading to Century Gothic 22, and the second heading must be Century Gothic 14 and underline. So this one here on my spreadsheet, I'm going to change it now and make it Century Gothic 22. So I'll look for the font, there it is, font size 22, and then I'll also make it bold. Then the second one here must be Century Gothic 11, so I'm going to change it to Century Gothic and then make it 11 and also underline. Then I can merge and center. I highlight until the end of the column, the last column, heading. Then I go to merge and center. There is the icon for merge and center. Click. I highlight the second heading as well until the last column heading. Then I merge and center like that. So you will see that now my headings are actually equal because they are merged and centered correctly. Then on the question paper as displayed now, you see that the headings of the spreadsheet, we are instructed to make sure that they are centered vertically and horizontally in italics, and also we must shade them. So I'm going to highlight the whole heading section, and then I will go and find the shading that is needed. So I will take this shading and also there on the second one, and then I will shade. So now when we look at our question paper here, you see that all the text has borders around them. So I'm just going to highlight everything until the end there, and then I will go here on my font group. I will find the icon for borders, then I choose all borders. Then I have all borders there now. Now I must make sure that this first part here, look at the question paper, what they say about it. That first part in the question paper, you see it says merge and center, change text orientation angle to counterclockwise. This applies to both the headings, both the main text under the heading activity. So I'm going to go to my text now, and then I will highlight everything like you see I'm doing now here. Then I will go and merge and center, and then I will do the same on the second one, merge and center. Then I click the first one there. This is where we change the text direction or the orientation. Then I click there, then you will see that these are the angles that you can choose. Counterclockwise is the first one. When I choose it, it changes there. Second one as well, I click there first, I click there, then I choose counterclockwise. So now your text is cutting. It means the font is too big, or the font size or the font type is wrong. So I'm just going to change there and make it a default one. We change it to 8. There also change it to 8. And then we also make it look like this one there, just like that. Now it's becoming visible. So now what is happening is that if you look at the question paper as displayed again here now, you will see that there is a text that must come below these two headings or two columns that we have identified. We must insert the word total on both sections of the spreadsheet. So it means under this global shark catch, I must insert a new row, and that row will be for total. So I will right click on activity, because a new row comes on top of what you have right clicked. I right click here on 11, I go to insert, the new row is there. Then I go there, right click and click insert, a new row will come there. So in the case of the second section of this spreadsheet, you will see that it's indicated now on the question paper. It says open row only once. So now I will go to my spreadsheet and right click on one open row at the bottom and click delete, so that I have one open row remaining. Then this is where I type total. Now this total is not in orientation, so I will just make sure that I remove the orientation there, so that I have normal text. Then here also I will type total. I also click there and remove the orientation, click the orientation again, so that it's removed, because it's copying what was there on top. So now this one, according to the question paper, the instruction says total must be inserted in uppercase, bold and 14. So I'm going to click on it and make it bold, and also change the font size to 14. So the same applies to this one, make it bold and change the font size to 14. Now when we look at our question paper again, on the first part of our spreadsheet, on our headings, it says that the headings must be centered vertically and horizontally. So when we did it, you have to highlight the whole shaded area which are your headings, and make it centered vertically and horizontally, meaning you go to alignment and click both the center of horizontally and vertically, both of them. That is how you do it. And then now we have to also make sure that they appear exactly according to the question paper. If you look at the question paper, price per ton, price is on top of per ton, and total is on top of amount, total amount. So now coming to our spreadsheet, the way you do it, you highlight the two that must change, and then you go to wrap text there. So when the wrap text icon is active, meaning that you can wrap some of the text to be below other text. So when I go to row 5 there, between 5 and 6, and adjust to expand the row a bit, you will see that now my row is bigger. And then I can go and adjust there between D and E, where the column ends, and drag it back to where actually it must cut before the other text wraps to the bottom. So this is wrap text. So now everything must be visible there like this, and then also here I do the same there, and then amount just like that. So what we did here on the first row, we must also do here on the second row of the column headings. So meaning that I will also do wrap text there, wrap text, then it will also be aligned according to the first one, just like that. We have an instruction on the question paper as indicated there. You see it says sort according to year, small to large. So we are going to sort the spreadsheet as you see it now. I'm going to highlight everything here, and then I will go to sort and filter, and then I will go to custom sort, and then here I will say sort by. You see it says year, I choose year, small to large. When I click OK, it sorted everything there. Then now I have to put in the information according to the question paper. Here it says insert figures, currency with no decimal. So I'm going to insert this as money. So I'm going to insert all these figures that are needed here as money, as currency. So I will just start by putting them as normal and change them from the tools to be currency. So it's 55, 65, 70, 75 and 80. Then after inserting them like that, I don't type letter R for rands, but I highlight all the numbers as they were, typed plain as they are. Then I go to my tools there under home, you will see number, general, then I choose currency there. Then it will put the figures for me. So no decimal, meaning that the comma 00 must not appear. So I right click after formatting, then I go to format cells, and then I will choose there and say currency, decimal places. I make sure that I take it down to 0. Then I click OK. Then you see that now I don't have any comma 00 amounts. So there also I will have to put in the figures 85, 90, 95, 100, 105 according to the question paper. So now when we have our spreadsheet like that, this was also supposed to be included. So I've included it, typed everything there according to the requirements. So now we are going to look at what is needed for us to do the calculations there. But before we do the calculations, you will realize that on the question paper as displayed now, under total we have where it says open row. Under the second total also there, the bottom, we also have open row before we have the text average shark. So coming back to my spreadsheet, I'm going to insert a new open row here on top of activity. Right click on activity number 12 there and click insert. Then the open row comes there, and then the open row must not have borders, so I will just go and highlight there and click where it says no borders. So when it says no border, I will just make sure that my bottom border on total still appears. So I will go and say bottom border. So same as this one here, I will have to insert a new row here on top there, and then that's it. So I will just make sure that the total also has borders around it by choosing all borders there. So now when we look at our question paper again, on the other page of our question paper where we are told what to do, on number 5, insert the following formulae functions where the letters of the alphabet appear to do the following calculations. Use cell references for all calculations where possible. Now going back to our spreadsheet, right, so as we look at the calculations, number A in the question paper, as it is indicated on what we should do, they say total amount of global shark catch, we should calculate it by tons multiplied by price per ton. So when we come here, we are going to say tons multiplied by price per ton. We start with an equal sign, and then you click inside tons, and then you go to multiply. You can use multiply from the numerical keypad on your keyboard, and then after that you click the price per ton, and then it will just indicate by the cell where that number or that figure is coming from. Then when you press enter on the keyboard, it will give you the amount. Here in the question paper they say display answers as currency with no decimals, so we are going to make sure that we don't have decimals. And then now you need to make sure that the whole column contains all the amounts, so you can just go to the autofill button and drag down so that it can auto calculate for you. It's called autofill. Now when we look at our question paper again on the spreadsheet that is given to us, we have A appearing once, and then we have B also appearing once on the second part of the spreadsheet, where we have to look at the question or the instruction as to what it says. So when I go to my spreadsheet, I will put my cell selector here because this is where we are going to do B, and then I go to my question paper to see what will happen on B. B says total amount of exported shark fins. So exported shark fins, we are going to calculate it by exported shark fins. We are going to calculate it by total amount. We are going to click exported shark fins. We are going to click tons multiplied by price per ton. So we will also say equals to tons, you click, multiplied by price per ton, we click, and then we press enter. It will give us the amount. Then we can also autofill like we did with the first part of the spreadsheet. Right, so as we look at number C on our spreadsheet in the question paper as indicated, it is under tons on the first part of the spreadsheet. And let's look at what the question paper says. So number C is calculated by when we are going to get the total. So on the question paper it says total of tons for global shark catch, and then we are going to put the cell selector there on tons, because the question says total of tons for global shark catch and exported shark fins. So it means here we are going to get the total, and there we are also going to get the total because they are both C. So the calculation for total is equals to sum. We open the bracket, highlight everything, close the bracket, enter. Also here the same, equals to sum, open bracket. After opening the bracket, we highlight everything in that column, close bracket, enter. Then we got the total for both parts of the spreadsheet. That was C. Then when we look at the question paper for D, as indicated on our question paper, it says Right, so when we look at the question paper for D, it says you have to calculate the total of total amount. Total of total amount for both. If you look at the question paper where it's indicated, it's under total amount for both parts of the spreadsheet. So when I go there to the first part of the spreadsheet, I will say equals to sum, and then I will have to highlight the total amount, close bracket, enter, and also the total amount for the second part of the spreadsheet equals to sum, open bracket, highlight the whole range, close the bracket, enter. So that is how you get the total of the total amount column. So when we look at E on the question paper as indicated, it is going to be calculated right there under price per ton on below the second part of the spreadsheet. And when we look at the instruction, it says average shark fins price per ton. So we are going to get the average of all these, and then the second one says average shark catch tons. So we are going to go and get the average for the second part, which is going to be done here. Then when we go to the third one, we are going to get highest shark fins price per ton. So we are going to get highest shark fins price per ton there, and then there we are going to get the lowest shark catch price per ton there. Then we are going to get the median shark catch tons there. Right, so looking at the question paper, as it is going to be telling us how to calculate E, F, G, H, and I. All of them, they are here, going to be done here on my spreadsheet. This is E, this is F, this is G, this is H, and this is I. So we are just going to follow the instructions here and calculate what they want there using the information that is above here. So coming to E, when we look at E says average shark fins price per ton. So it's equals to average equals to average. Now when you check there, it tells you what you have to do. Average shark fins price per ton. So average shark fins price per ton. We are going to look at shark fins here. This is the part we are going to look at, and then we are going to say price per ton. We are going to highlight everything in that range, and then we are going to say close bracket, enter. Then the second one says average shark catch. Then we are going to look at the tons. We are going to say equals to so for average shark catch in tons, we are going to look at the first part of the spreadsheet. We are going to say equals to, and then we are going to say average again, average, and then we are going to take the tons of the catch, which is this part, and then close bracket, enter. And then highest shark fins, there it is. We are going to look at this part of the spreadsheet because this is where we are going to look at fins, and then we are going to look at the highest one in terms of price per ton, this part. Then is going to be equals to max, and then we are going to take the whole range there, close bracket, enter. Lowest shark catch price per ton. So lowest shark catch, we are going to look at the first part because it's the one that talks about shark catch, and then we are going to look at price per ton using the lowest, looking for the lowest, equals to mean. That is how you find the lowest price per ton. Then you highlight the range, close bracket, enter. Median shark catch. Shark catch, we are looking at the first part of the spreadsheet. We are going to use the function median, and then we are going to look at the tons, which is this part here. So we are going to say equals to median, open bracket, take all the tons, close bracket. After closing the bracket there, we press enter, then this is the median. So we have all the answers according to the instructions for all the calculations that we were given. Now looking at the question paper again, going back to where we're actually doing the calculations, you will see that we have covered all that is needed there. We just have to make sure that the formatting of the numbers are correct. When we look at all this that we have done now at the bottom of our spreadsheet here, we have to check whether they are all formatted correctly. If we check here, they say the average shark fins price per ton, which is the first one here. It's supposed, according to the question paper, let's look at it again. It says after calculating it, we must display the answer as an integer. An integer is a number with no decimals, so you just make sure that there are no comma 00, no comma 54 or something by clicking the answer and going there to decrease the decimals. So there are no decimals currently. As you see that when I click, there's nothing that is coming out. Number F says calculate average shark catch. We have done it. Now the answer is here. They say we must display answer as integer as well. We go there and do the same so that nothing is remaining. Highest shark fins price per ton, we must display the answer as currency with no decimals. That is currency, there are no decimals. Lowest shark catch price per ton, as you see in the question paper, it says we must display the answer as currency with no decimals. It's currency, there are no decimals as well. The last one, medium, display answer as integer. The answer is also as an integer there as well. So this is how you are supposed to do the question that is in the question paper for Microsoft Excel. Thank you for watching.